Buying a modern cargo ship can cost anywhere from $50 to $150 million. That is more than the cost of a commercial airliner and more than the entire GDP of some small island nations. It is a floating city made of 40,000 tons of specialized steel, powered by a two-stroke marine engine taller than a four-story building. This single engine produces 100,000 horsepower, designed for a 25-year operational life. When you see the logos of global carriers like Maersk or MSC, you are looking at the operators. However, these companies often do not own the ships they sail. Many prefer to own as few vessels as possible. In this industry, moving cargo and owning the steel are two separate businesses. Logistics is about the efficient movement of goods, while ownership is a high-stakes leasing business driven by financial speculation. This structure separates the day-to-day operation of global shipping routes from the massive financial gamble of holding the deed to a $150 million asset. The true owners of the global fleet are often invisible to the public. Greek shipping families, Japanese leasing conglomerates, or private equity firms operating out of New York and London. These owners are not logistics experts, they are landlords. They make their money by renting their ships to the operators who actually handle the containers. The time charter is the most common arrangement. The operator runs the vessel for a fixed daily rate, say $40,000 a day for 3 years. The owner handles crew and maintenance, while the operator pays for fuel and port fees. In a bareboat charter, the operator takes on everything, hiring the crew, buying insurance, and maintaining the engine, while the owner simply collects a monthly check. These leases allow operators to scale their fleets without taking on massive debt, while providing owners a steady return on their initial capital. Beyond long-term leases, there is the spot market. Here, ships are rented voyage by voyage, leaving the rates to fluctuate based on seasonal demand or sudden geopolitical crises. When the Ever Given blocked the Suez Canal in 2021, it created a massive bottleneck in global trade, sending the spot market into a frenzy. Spot rates went parabolic. Ships that usually rented for $15,000 a day were suddenly commanding $150,000. It created billionaire owners in months, followed by a 70% collapse in rates as supply chains normalized in 2023. This volatility transforms a physical industrial asset into something that trades more like a speculative commodity than a piece of real estate. Most owners afford these ships through heavy leverage, typically a structure of 30% equity and 70% bank financing secured by the vessel itself. To protect their empires, owners use special purpose vehicles. They register each individual ship under its own shell company in places like Panama or Liberia, so the liability of one vessel does not legally touch the rest of the fleet. But if the market crashes and the ship's value drops below the debt owed, say to $50 million against a $70 million loan, the owner is underwater. The bank can demand immediate cash or seize the asset. Because of the shell company structure, this risk is isolated. If one ship goes bankrupt, the owner's remaining vessels stay safe from the bank's reach. Owners also face an evolving regulatory environment. New environmental mandates to decarbonize shipping can require million-dollar engine retrofits or exhaust scrubbers. It is a fuel gamble. If an owner builds a ship to run on liquefied natural gas, but the industry standard shifts to green methanol 10 years later, that ship's value can vanish. This is a stranded asset, a $150 million ship that is too expensive to run, illegal in certain ports, and impossible to sell. Owning a ship means betting against the unpredictable timeline of global climate policy and energy transitions for the next quarter century. At the end of its 25-year life, a ship is sailed onto the beaches of India or Bangladesh to be dismantled by hand. Even in death, the vessel holds value. The owner is paid for the raw scrap weight of the steel, which can yield roughly $15 million, a final floor for the asset's value. This risk architecture explains why operators like Maersk charter so many vessels. If trade slows down, a charterer simply hands back the ships, while an owner is left to pay the mortgages on a fleet that is sailing empty. Modern maritime empires are built not just through control of the cargo, but through the calculation of debt, the prediction of trade cycles, and the management of global risk.